South of the Wash, this Breckland lies between Bury St Edmunds and Swaffham, a place where the trains bringing visitors to Norfolk pass through wild heath and newly planted forest. The soil beneath this scenery holds black iron-hard flints. With these flints, the first men in this land made weapons to kill the food they hunted by land and by water. These flints, that built the Breckland churches, had once been sponges swaying on the seabed. In places like King's Lynn on the Wash, they flowered again in the neat flushwork patterns of the Guildhall.
Well, that's a rum un, that is. That's the first time I heard tell that Guildhall was made of sponges. But Lynn's daft enow for anything. And old enow, too. They do say 'twere a port when that little old Norman William was a-splashing about arter Hereward the Wake. But most of they houses was rebuilt as recent as when old George III was a-trotting round the bend. Of course, there's Lynn's old customs house, too. But that don't prove nothing. Boy, that ain't hardly got its second coat of paint on. That's only 270 year old. But Lynn's outlasted some other ports hereabouts. Blakeney, now, that was a port too, till the almighty builder, he started dumping sand in the harbour mouth, so that ain't only used for titty-totty sailing boats nowadays. Almost anywheres on this coast, from the Wash, right round to Southwold, down in Suffolk, you only got to look sideways, and round the corner there's a stretch of beach, and that old wind a-blowing, clean as a flute. But that's all a going to waste for. Times in summer, you have to shout across 10 mile of sand to find out if that's time for tea. Of course, places like Yarmouth and Lowestoft, there's nearly as many folks flacketing about as if that was harvest home. That's the place for market days for. That's like market day every day, and fair day all the summer. That's nearly as exciting as when the old Vikings came a-strolling into Norfolk, giving folk a ding on the lug with their old axes.
In Yarmouth and Lowestoft, there's always a great deal of salt in the air. It comes in with the wind and the tide. It comes in with the drifters and hovers over the harbour as they spill their haul of herrings out on the quayside. There was an old herring got caught in a trawl, High Rickety Barlow. Though he'd never done any harm at all, High Rickety Barlow. He swam like silver, but wasn't able to keep off the plate on the family table. When you fillet your kipper for tea, remember the herring that swam in the sea. Remember the herring that swam in the sea.
That's one thing the sailor don't think about, Bo. Twouldn't fill his nets, nor nobody else's belly neither. Whether he go out on drifters for herring or mackerel, or in his own tiddly concern for souls aplace, that's good fat fish he pray for. Keep the sky above the land, keep the land below, keep the sea above the sand, and make the water flow. Blow the wind to fill my sail, keep the water wet, give the fish good fin and tail to swim into my net. Scale him with a silver skin, make him fat and fine, then let me, Lord, haul him in. That make his silver mine.